welcome back to my channel. My channel is called A Hobbit's Tale and I'm here mostly to talk about books. So let's get right into today's topic, which is my April wrap-up. The first book I finished in April was A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. It's the only one I have physically here from all the books I read in April. So my journey with A Game of Thrones was a little bit rocky in the beginning. I started reading this last April or March, and then, well, I wasn't in a good reading spot back then. I only started reading a lot in December last year, and so I didn't get too far. But then I remembered I had the audiobook in Audible and decided I would try listening to it during the summer when I was sunbathing on the balcony or just enjoying the outdoors. But then it stopped working. I don't know if it's because the book was like 5 years old or something. It just stopped working for some reason and I didn't have the energy to contact the Audible help, so I just stopped. And in late March I got the audiobook from my library and decided to listen to it while playing RuneScape. And it worked pretty well. And I finished it. I don't have much to say about this book, since the TV show follows the book very closely, at least in the case of this first book, and I've seen the show, so there wasn't like anything new or special for me. The audiobook by Roy Dotrice worked very well for me. I enjoyed listening to it, and I think I would have enjoyed reading it too, because for what I read, I really enjoyed the writing style. If you want to know what this book is about, go check the description online or watch the show if you haven't seen it yet. In my personal opinion, I love the show and I love the book, and I think I would have loved the book even more if I hadn't seen the show first. Which, like, now reading it I kind of regret, but I love the show, so I don't really mind it too much. Pretty much the only problem I had with the book was the descriptiveness of women's breasts. It was like, they didn't describe genitals in this, but the way they described breasts was like they saw breasts as a sexual object or like genitals. So I just really didn't enjoy reading about women's breasts described like that, because like kind of objectifying women and specifically breasts, but then nothing else. But I will get along with it while reading the rest of the books. It's just something that bothers me a little, but not too much. And that's why I only get 4 stars to this, because of that. Because it wasn't like my favorite thing. The second book I read in April was a graphic novel called Nimona, written by Noelle Stevenson. And so it's pretty much about this evil mastermind or like a supervillain, Lord Blackheart, and Nimona, who wants to be his sidekick. And they are kind of trying to prove and reveal that the institution that creates heroes isn't actually as good as they want people to believe. And so Lord Blackheart was originally from that institution. He was there with his friend Sir Gollyloin, but now they're kind of enemies because Sir Gollyloin is a hero and he's Lord Blackheart is a villain. And it's a beautiful story about friendship. It took me a little while to read it, like a little longer than I usually spend time with graphic novels, because there were so many elements that I loved about it so much that I wanted to explore all of them and all the conflict and everything in it, and it was beautiful. The third book I read in April was Havenfall by Sara, Holland, and it's a young adult book about this place, this inn of Havenfall, where different realms are connected. And one of the realms is Haven, which is our Earth, but in there the people from different realms call it the Haven. Every year the people from different realms meet up at this inn because it's the only place where they can meet without being harmed because if you go to another realm, your body can't handle it because it's so different and the people are different, like different creatures in a way. And I really enjoyed the story, and there were multiple things, like of course exploring the different realms and magic and what is this about in the first book of the series. And also there was some like secrets and kind of finding out about them. And I really want to read more when I get to it, and I'm really excited to explore more of this world. Pretty much the only thing I'm disappointed with this one is that it's only 300 pages, and there would have been so much more that could have been done with this book. Like, it was very YA in a way that it was kind of simple, at least the first book was. It will be a series, so there might be more to it later, but it was only 300 pages, and I think it could have easily been like 500 pages with all the stuff that happened in the book if we just went to explore all those things more. And there could have easily been, like, there were so many different aspects to the story that could have been already explored more. The fourth book I read in April was Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel, and I loved it. So the book is basically about a pandemic hitting the people on Earth, and it's very bad, very huge. It kills like 95% of the population, and the book concentrates on how the people survive after such a catastrophe, and how after the society and everything has collapsed, how do people cope and what do they do and all those people. And what I love about her writing is that how she ties all the stories, all the different stories and all the different people's stories together from the beginning to the end. I had heard that the book is about the pandemic, and people were saying like maybe that's a reason why you want to read it at this moment when the pandemic is going on in our world at the moment, or you don't want to read it because of the situation. But I feel like it's because the pandemic is not really the point in the book. Yeah, maybe if you're really stressed about the current situation, you don't want to read it because it has the word pandemic in it. But it's more about how we survive and how we handle the situation after some huge natural disaster. Not necessarily a pandemic, it could be anything. It was really interesting and very good. The fifth book I read in April was The Upside of Falling. I listened to that while we were playing RuneScape. It was an audiobook because I had a bad reading month in April and I didn't know how to cope with that, and somebody recommended audiobooks. And I am very scared to try audiobooks because it's very hit and miss if I like it or not. So, The Upside of Falling is a YA contemporary romance, and it was something very easy, and I was thinking it would be lovely to read and easy to listen to. And it's something I could try, and if I didn't like the narrator or the audiobook in general, I could just stop listening to it. But I really enjoyed it. It wasn't like anything special. It's about fake dating, boy and a girl in high school. They have this fake dating situation and then they fall in love. Spoilers. But anyway, it's very generic. I really enjoyed it, but it's nothing special in that genre. So the last book I read in April was Bloom by Kevin Panetta. And it was also a graphic novel, and it tells a story of Ari, who wants to go with his band to a bigger city and try to make it as a musician, but his parents won't let him because his parents own a bakery, and so he's trying to get someone to cover for him or come to work at the bakery so he doesn't have to. And then there is Hector, who is in the town because his grandma has probably passed away, and he's kind of cleaning up her house. And then he loves baking, and he's going to go to the bakery to learn the trade there and how they work at the Ari's parents' bakery. And then Ari and Hector are doing that together, and they fall for each other, and Ari is trying to figure out what he wants to do with his life, and it's beautiful. I had tears of happiness in my eyes while reading it, and it was gorgeous and lovely. In April I only read those 6 books, and it feels like such a small amount since I read like 11-ish books the previous months of the year. But I've been picking it up a little. It just seems like I'm a sucker for graphic novels. I enjoyed all the books I read in April, and I'm excited to read more books in May. Let me know in the comments what you read in April and what you thought about those. And if you have read any of the books I read, let me know in the comments what you thought about that. If you like watching me and my stuff, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!